Good morning to everyone. I am Christian Calvi Fernandez and I'm going to discuss to you the small summary of our lesson in Introduction in Industrial Arts. Now, so first we are going to discuss from chapter 1 to chapter 8. I know that some of those lessons are not included to or some of those modules are not included in our lesson, but I am going to discuss it to you later. So first, in chapter 1, we are going to discuss about the introduction and objectives. So in chapter 1, it is about the lesson of how the industrial arts started as a subject during in our history, and the objectives of the industrial art. So the importance or the objectives of the industrial arts is to teach other people when it comes to industrial arts, um, the importance of the industrial arts and how does the industrial arts work, and especially the tools and equipments that we are using when it comes to industrial arts, and also including the different branches of the industrial arts. Here comes the drafting, carpentry, masonry, plumbing, electronics, and electrical. So next, we're done with the chapter 1. Next is the chapter 3. When I see the modules in industrial arts, there's no chapter 2 or chapter 2 enlisted in the modules. So we are going to proceed to chapter 3, which is the drafting. So when it comes to the drafting, what is drafting? So drafting is about on how we are going to draw or going to prepare the whole project when it comes to making the house design or the building design. We call it as project, no? So next is about the tools or modems ba, or something like that we are using when it comes to drafting. Here comes the so next so when it comes to tools that we are using when it comes to drafting, here comes the technology, and also the traditional way. When it comes to drafting, we are using pens or pencils when it comes to drafting. So first is the technology. When it comes to technology, we are using computers. So when it comes to drafting in technology, here comes the AutoCAD or CAD, or the computer aided design. Now we are using CAD or something like or how we are using CAD. We are using coordinates to form a figure. So next is the traditional one, which is the using of materials like pencils, pen, rulers, or different and etc. So next is chapter 4, which is carpentry. So carpentry is focusing on building establishments like houses, more with the use of wood. So so when it comes to wood, there are some different types of wood, no? And also we using different types of materials when it comes to wood cutting. So here comes the manual, and also including the mechanical. So next is masonry. So sir, what is masonry? Masonry is about building homes or buildings with the uses of stone, rocks, and cement. This is more on into more into earth or rock materials, or more on rocks. And also the equipments, they are more on into uh, more on hammers or something like that to build a house. So in masonry, there are different types of things that we are going to consider when it comes. Example is different types of bricks, or the thing that we are using when it comes to building a house or something like buildings. So there are also different types of cement that we are using. Actually, it's not called a cement. A cement is a type of how do we call this? It's more like what do you call this? We are on how we are using to layer those bricks, or so when it comes to masonry, here comes the equipment. So example of those equipments is this the shovels, the mixer, those small shovels to mix or to take a small amount of cement mix. So that's few of those tools that there is in masonry. Next is plumbing. So plumbing, they are more focused on pipes. Here comes the PVC, the metal type, and also the and also here the connectors, some to connect other pipes to the other one, and also the switch or something like that to stop the flow of water inside the pipe. So next is the chapter 7, which is the electronics. So when it comes to electronics, we know that it is about electric materials that we are using when it comes to industrial arts. So next is the chapter 8, which is the electrical. So when it comes to electrical, here comes the materials or equipment tools when it comes to electrical. The example of this is the industrial frameworks when it comes to building a house, or to connect metals when it comes to industrial arts. So let me repeat again and summarize those lessons. So first, in the chapter 1, here comes the intro, or the introduction of the industrial arts and the objectives of the industrial arts or the purpose. Next is the chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5 to chapter 8, which is the 6 chapters have these differences. First is the drafting, is focusing on how we are going to or we are going to draft or draw the project that we are going to do. Next is the carpentry. They're more on focusing on building projects with the use of wood. So next is the masonry. They are more focused on how we are going to build the establishment or a house with the use of rocks or cement. Next is the plumbing, which is the building of pipes. Different types of pipes with PVC, metal type, and more, with valves and switches. Next is the chapter 7, which is the electronics, or the use of electric materials on building establishments. Next is the chapter 8, which is the electrical. Here comes the electric materials or tools that we are on how. Next is the electrical. This is more focused on how we are going to build with on how we are going to build with the use of metals, and also the uses of electric materials, on how we are going to connect with those metals. Example of this is the welding, or the welding materials.